Hey folks, it's Fritgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Boulder Canyon. I am going to drag this one now all the way down and round, and we're going to sell this first load, and then we're going to go straight back round and hopefully load up another load or two of manure while the tractor that we've got with the seed drill on it is busy seed drilling out in the field. So let's just get that one unloaded there and make sure that that is all going as planned, and then we can go over to this side. And I could have gone back through that little cycle. That's actually working all right. It's not at the moment giving up on us and saying it can't cope with it, so hopefully it will keep working all right and we will keep being able to do everything that we want to do. That one is all empty. We get $2,000 per load, well, almost $2,200 per load. We are selling at the moment for $48 per thousand. It's still climbing. I don't know how much more it's going to get than that. And in the cattle pen at the moment is telling us that we have got 219,000 litres of the stuff they're ready to bring out, which is going to be another 4-5 loads, something like that. It's enough to keep us busy anyway. It's enough to keep us entertained for a minute or two, which means, unfortunately, we can't just leave this one like we can with the tanker. We've actually got to do a bit of work to load this one up, but I mean, it's a lot easier loading it like this than it would be if we were doing it any other way. Now, I'm going to bring that trailer into there, like that. I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to run round like this. I don't know if that is actually loading anything or not. Might be now. I suppose it is now because it's sort of switched over, but it's that little bit down the side there. It doesn't seem to want to get that properly, but I don't think it matters too much. Right, lower that down and start that one up. And then I'll bring him in over here. Now I'm getting that edge. There, it's definitely done something there with the edge. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring that right up as high as I can go like that. And that will start working in the top edge there. It'll lower a whole load of it down. That seems to be the best way to do this. So to do it in 2 stages, half at a time. And then once that bit there is done everything that it will be able to reach, which is now, then we can start reversing down the hill, getting just those last little bits there, just to sort of like tidy them out, and then we can ram forwards and we can repeat this process all over again. It should go fairly well for us. Right, we'll bring you down there. Now, how much further out am I going to have to go? Okay, not really. Just bring it to there like that. That's just evening that out as well, and then I can go forward up here like that. How far do I need to go to make this work? Try and get that. I've got to sort of get the tractor angled up slightly so that I can get into the top part of the heat there. And then it works through properly. Like that. And there we go. We have now completely filled that one up. Just drag you back. I'll stop you there like that. I'm just going to unhitch you and leave you. I don't want to be dragging that one round on the front of this tractor while we're doing this job. I'd like to just kind of leave it there in the manure pit, and then we can hitch it in each time that we want to use it, because it's quite big. It does stick out the front of the trailer by a very long way, and I think that is going to ultimately be something that is going to end up sort of spoiling things here. Right, it's alright, real life just interrupted there a moment. Okay, swing this one on round. Tractor. No, he's actually stopped. He stopped over there, and I missed him. How long ago did that happen? Looks like it happened right at the beginning. That's not good. We don't want that happening. If it's going to keep doing that on every pass, we're going to struggle to... Well, we're not going to struggle. It's just going to be more time-consuming to finish this job before we finish the episode. I was really hoping that we get this one done before the episode finishes. That's what I'd like. I'd like this field here finished before the episode is finished. Might be, actually, there may be a quicker way to do this. I'll let it come down to the end over here a minute, and then I'm just going to run over that way. I'm going to go round and I'm going to gather up any of the bits that are still left to gather. So if I just get that bit, I'm gonna go around and get these patches. I said last time, I think it was last time, I did say about being OCD about these bits this week, and I'm still feeling this way. I'm still feeling like I need to get all of these little patches. So there's one over here that I spied. There. Grab that one, and then there's another one all the way down there. I thought I'd already gotten that one, but no, there is a bit there that doesn't show up completely, but from a distance you can see it. So I'm going to lower the drill down there and make sure absolutely certainly that I've got it. And then I will come back over here. It doesn't look like there's anything more. I think there may have been one more small patch there somewhere, but honestly, I don't think it really matters. And then we've got the slightly bigger patch here, which we will go and take out. And then that other little bit there, and then that's the last bit. There. Right. I've now picked out all of the patches. That field is looking pretty clean all the way through. So then what we'll do is we'll come down over here and we will start on the shortest run on the field, and that way it's not going to keep saying, nope, I can't do this, I've run out of space. It's just going to keep doing what we want it to do, which is to work across here like this. So if I press H on there, that's going to lower in there, and then it will work its way around. Right. Might take a minute while it's just doing the very shortest runs, but it should get round and do all of it. That's the important thing here. Okay, he's going to go around there. He's going to turn around. We might have a bit of trouble with that signpost. So let me go over here. I don't know if I can knock it over or pull it out of the ground while it's... No, I can't. Right, it's not actually letting me knock that one over just on its own like that. So we may end up having some problems with that one. I'll deal with that later. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. We've got stuff to clean. Let's clean these off a second. I know I've got the manure to go and deal with, and we will deal with that, I promise, but I just want to clean all of this lot off. Then that's another job that's done, it's finished, it's out of the way, and then we can put these away in a bit. We don't have to put them away just yet. We are going to want to run them past the workshop and just make sure that they're fully repaired as well. I don't know what I'm going to do with the header. I just dump it down over here somewhere. Go and get the corn header. Take that over and put it in the shed. And then put this header back on and then reverse it into the shed. So I've got the header on the front and I don't need to worry about it. Right, you are done and you are looking absolutely filthy over here. Clean you up now. You're actually cleaning up pretty quickly. Surprisingly so. Some of these can take a little while to clean, like the way that the dirt is layered onto it. It takes quite a long time for the last little bits of dirt to disappear off the surface of the machinery. But there, that's done. And then I've got the plough to do. There's not very much wear and tear on the plough for the last little bit of the field that it did. There's a bit of paintwork sort of worn near the top of it. But generally speaking, most of this plough is actually looking in pretty good nick, to be honest. All the way through it there. So I'm quite happy with that. And stop that one there, and then I'm going to go back over this way and switch that one off. Right, next we go back through this lot and we go ignore you. That's better. That's much better. That's going to keep working through that, and we don't have to worry about it stopping. I can take this one and we can go and empty this one out. There's the Duranta trailer with our next load. Remember, this isn't actually our trailer. This is a merchant that's coming along collecting it. So we've already loaded the trailer up for the merchant. And now all we're doing here with this action is we're finding out how much they're going to give us rather than actually having to worry about anything else. Like we're not... oops, I didn't mean to do that. We're not... with our emptying it out here, we're not using this trailer ourselves. This is not us using this trailer. This is just finding out what money we're going to get for this particular task, and whether or not we're going to be making a small fortune from this, or if instead we're just getting ripped off. And I'll be honest, 2,200 for a one trailer load of manure is not too shabby, really. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, as far as monetary rewards go for different products, I'd say that was pretty reasonable. I mean, I don't know what the going rate for a load of solidified political promises is these days, but I can't imagine it's going to be huge quantities of money, is it? Because it's not actually rotted down. So you can use the stuff on the field, you can use the stuff in a garden, but it does have a certain odor to it. And there are plenty of people who are not going to appreciate that certain odor in their gardens, aren't there? There's a lot of people that are just not going to fully appreciate that, and they're not going to be happy with it. Like, you couldn't really go and sell the stuff bagged up to someone who's doing a lot of work in their garden and work in their allotment, because so many people these days, they just don't sort of appreciate what decent manure is. I mean, it is better if it's rotted down. It is better if it's sat in a heap and it's rotted down. And when the stuff is properly rotted down, it doesn't smell anywhere near as much as it does before it's rotted down. Like, well-rotted manure is got a completely different odor to it. It's more of a compost soil type smell to it than it is to fresh manure, which is altogether different. And as anybody who has ever cleaned out cattle pens will be able to testify, it is an altogether different aroma. That being said, I've never found the smell of the, freshly cleaned out cattle pens to be all that unpleasant. I know that some people, they will wrinkle their noses up and make all sorts of fuss about it, but I've personally never really found it to be particularly horrific. It's just kind of a smell. I guess it's because I've always associated it with working on a farm and generally pleasant memories. That would be the thing, I guess, is because I associate that smell with generally pleasant memories all round. That's why the smell association with manure is not an unpleasant one. Now, I mean, if it comes to pig manure and that being sort of spread around, I've never really had anything to do with pigs on a large scale, so the smell of that stuff being spread, there's no happy memories evoked from that. It just stinks. It just plain stinks. And it's the same with chickens as well on a large scale. But I've been told by plenty of people that actually keep the things, keep chickens on any large scale, that, they find it as eye-wateringly bad as everybody else does. So, yeah, see, the thing with cattle, and to a lesser extent with sheep, is that it's just grass. That there's very little else in it that's been processed. So it's an altogether different smell than it is for pigs and chickens, who have got a completely different diet and a different digestive system as well. So the smells involved with everything are different, as they're just as different as the digestive systems involved are. Sheep manure and cattle manure, if you've got straw mixed in with it and it's all being sort of mucked out and that, there are differences between it, but it's reasonably similar, whereas the differences with chickens and pigs, it's quite phenomenal. It really is. So there you go. I'm guessing you didn't think when you started this episode that you'd be getting an education on the different nuances between the smell of chicken manure and pig and cattle and sheep, and just, the quality of the bouquet and things like that. But there it is. You learn all sorts of things. Now, I don't really know very much about the quality of the bouquet, I must admit. I'm sure there are some people who would be able to tell just from the smell of the manure that's coming out as to how healthy the cow is. And I'm sure you can to a certain extent if there's something particularly wrong with it, but I don't know how much more than that you could do. I'm sure there are people... Never underestimate people. There are people who can do just about anything. And I'm sure there are people who can give a full medical diagnosis on a cow just by the smell of the stuff that's coming out of its rear end. So If there are people that can do that, then there are people, there are people who can do most other things as well. So yeah, it's there are all types of skills in this world. I've never personally encountered anybody who has the skill I've just described, but I'm not going to say that it doesn't exist. I have learned through many episodes and many sweeping statements that I've made and then instantly been proved wrong, that I must never make any assumptions whatsoever when I am talking about agriculture and people involved with agriculture as well. There is always going to be someone out there that will surprise you. There is always someone out there that surprises me, so it will be the same for you as well. It's going to be quite nice to actually empty this manure pen out, actually, this bunker, I should say. Get all of this out and sold. It's going to be quite the feeling of accomplishment, because this stuff has been here and building up for quite some time now. So I'm quite pleased that we're able to make such headway on this. We've gotten several loads. Helper G has completed their task. So that's going to put a bit of a damper on things. I did say that I was hoping to be able to start the next field with planting, and I do hope to start the next field. I'm going to just move this over to the sale point and start it tipping out, and then I can run and grab that seed drill. So long as everything is looking neat and tidy in the field over there, we will have to just check that sign down the other end. As long as everything is looking neat and tidy, we'll be able to go straight into the other field, and we can start working our way around the field. And I'm kind of thinking that we're going to give the old AI vehicle extension a little bit of a test. If I go backwards, I can just do it like that. There we go. Let's see. There. Perfect. And that has come up very nicely. There is one bit missing over there that I'm going to need to go and get. And we'll just change over the crop there. Canola is the one that we want. Let's go and get that little bit right there. Lower you down and drill that. Right, as we've only got 54%, I'm going to go right now, and I'm going to load up. And there is a little tiny bit that's left. I did also see to my right, there was a little tiny bit that's left. Not enough that it's actually left a piece of, like, the field texture. But it's still enough that it was there. It was still enough that it actually was left behind in the field. Alright, now if I go in tight like that there and open it, it should just fill straight up. There. So I was thinking to start the field over on the bottom edge, over on that end over there. But now as I'm over here, we'll start the field over on this edge. There's another little spot right there. Can you see it? I can see it, so I'm going to open this out. I've just switched over to canola, which I don't want to be, and I think I switched to canola before I got to that other bit. It's got to be wheat. We're going to plant it with wheat. I don't even know where that patch is now. It's there, I think. Pretty sure it's that bit right there. Alright. We'll find out in a minute. Let's go into here a second and see if I accidentally did. I did. Look. Gone and planted those two strips with the wrong crop. That was really stupid of me. That was really stupid of me. I've gone and planted two strips with canola in here, which was an absolute heinous crime. It was an error. It should never have happened. So now I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to do two passes on this bit. I'm going to go up that way. And I'm going to go up the long way on this one there, like that. And then I'm going to turn straight back round again. And I'm going to lower down. I'm going to go back up through again like this. I'm going to get that bit. And then we've got to go down to that bottom end of the field. And we've got to do the same again. Right, there's that bit. That's now been painted the correct colour. And then I need to go down over here and do the same again because of stupidity. And then we can start planting canola in the other field. And I've also got to make sure that I remember to actually put canola going in the field over there. So this one, you can see where I drove through in a tearing hurry. So I will do a double strip on this one again, just to make absolutely certain that I have got that right. Let's bring you round. Back over round there like that. And go through again. Down through there like that. Right, and let's just check our map. That's looking better. That's looking a lot better. Now, if I run up through this way, I'm just looking in that top corner to see if I have got the last little bit. Yes, it's all gone. It's all done. Right, in which case, I am going to start down in this corner where I originally said I was going to start. We're going to switch that over to canola like that. I'm going to go over to here. I'm curious how well the AI vehicle extension is going to cope with doing this bottom line along here. This is why I want to do it along here. I'm just sort of curious what it's going to do, how well it's going to deal with this. So we're going to bring you to there like that. I'm going to go Control H to start it. We're going to switch that one over. You've got a straight reverse. You've got an O-shaped turn, which we don't want out on these corners. We haven't got the room for it. And that's your two options. So we'll leave it on a straight reverse. This is the one that we've been using at the moment. And we're going to go H on there. It's got to calculate the size of the field before it does anything. And it starts. And because of the angle of the machine when we started, it did throw it a little bit. I'm hoping here it's not going to try and follow the edge of the field. No, it's not. It's just going to cut a straight line across there, which is actually a good thing. But what is it going to do here? Is it going to get hung up on that fence? It might. It might get hung up on the fence. It's not going to just here, but it may get hung up on the fence up on that top corner up there. That is much more likely, actually, that it's going to get hung up there, because it does like to cut in across the corners. Does not. There, see? Wow, okay. I didn't expect it to dive down like that. Genuinely did not expect it to sort of nosedive in quite like that. That was a little extreme, I feel. It was just because it was reading ahead to where the edge of the field is and decided that actually that was a little bit too much for it to cope with. So now we've set the hired help going again. And this is what I mean. You do have to nurse it a little bit. We'll have the same issue up there with the big stone up the top. It's got to do its reversing bit on here. It's going to do it here on this corner. It'll do it over on that corner. And then it will go up there. And I'm pretty much guarantee it is going to get hung up on that big stone up the top there. Once it's gone round past that bit, we may have a bit of problem with it trying to get round the sharp corner in that corner over there, but I think the rest of the field it will probably be able to cope with. At least this is what I'm hoping. We'll find out. So you go there. You know what, we can just leave that one go for a minute, and we'll jump back round to this one. I'm curious to see if I've got time to be able to load up one more load and really put paid to the manure that we've got going on over. Although I suppose it doesn't really matter because we've got to now wait for that entire field to get planted, and that's going to take a while. So that's going to be like a big chunk of another episode. Yes, we've got a few other bits to go and do. We've got straw that we can go and put in for the animals. So maybe I don't need to worry about this too much. I'll just bring the trailer back over here and then we'll stop right there. Right there. And we'll wait. We'll come back to that one later, I think. And go back down here. Right, you've already done your reversing around the corner. That's good. Bring it to there. So long as it's able to cope with this, we could just leave it running and let it do twice around the field. I'm wondering if maybe I should have put the wheel weights on it for hauling it around on here. It would certainly have made it easier getting up the hill. Wheel weights do seem to make quite a difference to things like that. For the most part, though, I don't think we need them. It's only going up this hill that it's really much of an issue. And once we get up the hill, then the rest of it is probably going to be fine. I'm saying probably. I don't know for certain, but this is where it's going to do its nosedive thing, like it did just now. It's going to come up here. How much of a nosedive is it going to do? I mean, it may have done a bit of a nosedive over there, because there may have been a little tiny bit of field exposed where I didn't realise. Because that, going around there, was actually quite civilised. I genuinely didn't expect it to be that civilized going around that corner. And then up round here, he's done that first little bit. Gone round here, but that there, it will want to change. And he's staying within the boundaries of the field pretty well when it's coming to do its turning, which is another aspect of this that is surprising me. I didn't think it would sort of stay within the edges of the field quite so well as what it is doing. Seem to remember from a previous iteration of this mod, I think it was FS19, but it would have been FS17. It used to go a lot further out when it was doing its turning off the edge of the field, which made this first time round the edge of the field a lot more difficult. But this is actually really well done. Like, I think I should have been using this more. It's partly because I tested it a little bit using a planter. It was the Horsch planter, where the wheels are in the middle, and really didn't like it. Really struggled with that one a lot. So that has sort of shaped my opinions of the AI vehicle extension when it comes to tractor work. But this is actually working surprisingly well. Surprised it didn't go around that corner. I thought it would have been alright with that particular corner right there. But you look at this. It's backing into the field. I mean, yes, right there, it's swinging the tractor out round the edge. So if we did have a tight edge to the field there, it wouldn't cope with it. But we know that anyway with any version of hired help. Even Courseplay. If you had the edge of the field that was in really tight, then it would struggle. But as long as you keep a couple meters gap away from the edge of your fence line, wherever that might be, then you're probably alright. And I mean, I'll be honest, most fields that I've seen worked, you usually leave a half a meter to a meter between the edge of your work land and your hedgerow. If it's just a fence line, then yeah, you might get closer than that. But if it's a hedgerow with plants growing on it, you do tend to stay out from it a bit, because in the time that it takes for the plants to grow in the field, you've also got your weeds growing out from the hedge. And so if you're a little bit out from that hedgerow, you're not going to be getting those weeds getting tangled up with the crop, which in turn is going to make life a lot easier for you when you come around with combines later on. Are you going to get around that corner? Yes, you are. Fantastic. That's brilliant. So hopefully the only corner that it's going to do funny turns on will be that one over there, and then it will go right the way back down to where we started, and that'll be once around the field. The second time round should be a lot easier. There shouldn't be anything that we're going to get hung up on, and the only... we will still have the turns that we've got to wait for, these bits right here, like this one, but they should be less of an issue for us. That's what I'm hoping. They should be less of an issue for us going on this next time. I'm curious also, if I was to go and put this one against that stone over there, how well would the hired help cope with doing a run down through there? Like, you know what, I'm going to do that. We've got time. We've got time just before we finish out this episode. Let's see how well this hired help will cope with getting around here. We know the combine did struggle a little bit, but we did put the combine going around it. How well does it cope with it here doing this job? I put you on there, and it doesn't take the whole field into account. It's not trying to picture... It doesn't go for the big picture, this particular mod. It works a lot more like the standard hired help. Right? We're not looking at big picture. We're looking at just reading the very edge of the land that we've already gone across. Now, there it is struggling a bit. Didn't like that bit right there. It's trying to turn a little bit too sharp. But again, it's not doing big picture. It's only reading the stuff that's directly in front of it. So let's do that again and then see what... He's still swinging in tight, but he's gone out a little bit further than he did the first time round. That will come over to there, and then he's going to go out round again. I'm going to do this 3 times around the edge of this stone here. And he's come into almost where he was previously, but I'm actually quite happy with that, because it means that we're not sort of going to the south of that big... Is it south? I think it's the southern side of that big stone too much, which is not something that I want to do. Right? Mostly, it's this area, this side, and the other side that I want to sort of spread out on. And then these bits down the bottom end, we don't want to be out too far from those. Although this final pass, it is going out quite a bit further than it has done previously. But that's alright. I'm happy with that. And you come on round here. I will stop the hired help working right there. Like that. And I'm just going to start it up again and then bring it in like that, just to kind of like tidy up that little edge on there, and that's finished on there. Right, so we've done a pass all the way around there. We've done 3 times around there, and that worked quite well. I'm quite impressed with that. I'm confident now that I could just set the hired help going around and around the outside edge of this field right now, and it would do a good job. It would be able to get all the way around the field without causing any more problems. So I'm just going to straighten it up there and let it carry on. Although I'm not quite sure why the hired help has just dived out off to the side there. It's probably just because of a slight angle difference on it. Quite like that. I'll bring you down there and then go. It's doing it again. It's because I've got the edge of my seed drill slightly in from where it thinks the edge of the field should be, is what I'm assuming. Or possibly the angle was slightly wrong for it as it goes around the corner. Isn't it got to be slightly out for it to just sort of mess up its little calculations? But this is great. It's reading the edge of the field, and it's making sure that the whole field gets planted. It's not doing a pre-programmed course and then blindly following that, ignoring the fact that little patches aren't being covered. Okay, I've now... my estimations of the AI vehicle extension have gone up. I already really like this mod anyway. But this week, having now properly tried this one out with the Vaderstad, my estimations and my... what's the word? My fondness for this particular mod have increased exponentially. Like, I am really, really delighted with this. I'm delighted with how it's working. And if we look here... right, that's a little bit odd. It's gone and left a little tiny strip right there. Or has it? Yes, I think it has. It has left a little tiny... let's have a look. Or maybe not. Seems a little bit peculiar the way that it went and did that very edge piece there. But it seems alright. The bit that I'm most curious about is going to be up here in just a moment. We're going to find out any second now whether or not it's going to try and do a nosedive down into the fence again. I don't know why it did that. That was a bit of an unusual move, as I've not seen it do that before with anything else. And it doesn't do it with the Combine. The Combine does follow the edge of where it's supposed to run to, but it just plowed straight into the fence there for no apparent reason. It's not done it this time, though. Hasn't done it this time. It's bringing that one round, staying out on the edge of where it's supposed to stay out, and it's working beautifully. So we can leave that to go and do another couple of passes around this field. We could do 3 times around the edge of the field just to make sure that everything will be planted properly all the way round. If that's what we want to do, we will wait and see. We'll worry about that in a bit. But anyway, I've run out of time for today's episode, so we're going to have to leave this one here and come back next week. If you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.